Even though Stephen A. Smith annoys me a lot in real life, his character is not as annoying as Curtis is on this show. So I thought they had a good conversation. Good morning, everybody. Gonna recap some General Hospital over the past 2 days. Got two episodes to recap, the Thursday and Friday episode. April 30th and May 1st, they did give us a Friday cliffhanger at the very least, which is something that I like, obviously. And I also think that that is the way to start a May sweeps, which is how I see this week ending. I don't know if technically, if this was the first week of May sweeps back in the day, if there was any day in May in that week, it was considered May sweeps, but who knows how that works these days. I also do want to say that I'm not going to recap, some of the Molly stuff. I don't care about that couple. There was more of the Genie stuff with Gio and Emma and even Kaya and Trina. That was not my stuff. But let's start on Thursday with Rick and Sonny still talking about Ethan. Rick still not trusting Ethan. He's been finding out all about Ethan's past conning. And Rick thinks that Ethan can be bought, even though Sonny is giving Ethan a chance for Luke's sake. Sonny doesn't think that Ethan would sell him out. And on that day, Sonny had Ethan following Lucy. Lucy did end up interrupting Ava and Sidwell because Ava was trying to get Sidwell out of town, go to St. Bart's for some art or something. Maybe they could run into old Beyond the Gates. Bill and Haley also supposed to always be going to St. Bart's, but they never go. But yeah, Lucy ended up breaking that up, and then Lucy and Ava ended up sparring over Sidwell. But yeah, Ethan was looking at that because Sonny wants Lucy protected just in case Lucy is too involved with Sidwell. And so when Ethan came back, Sonny told Rick and Ethan why Ethan was doing what he was doing. Rick got Sonny to try and offer Ethan some money to leave town, which Ethan realized because he knows that Rick doesn't trust him. And then Sonny told Ethan when they were alone that he does trust Ethan and he has another job for him. And then later in Thursday's episode, Rick ended up breaking up the threesome between Ava, Sidwell, and Lucy and ended up sitting with Ava, and Ethan ended up seeing Rick and Ava together. I don't know if that was Sonny assigning Ethan to see if Rick can be trusted. Honestly, that would maybe be nice because I don't know if Sonny should be as trusting of Rick as he has been. Even though they are brothers, they have all that history together. In Friday's episode, we had more of Curtis and Jordan a little bit, but Curtis left even though he wanted to stay with Jordan. She told him to go spend the night with Trina because of the whole thing happening with the actor that plays the genie on Broadway. But when Curtis was gone, she did have a flashback to that accident. She had a flashback to when Curtis was kissing her, which I still contend is more Curtis's fault than hers. Curtis was the one getting frisky. She was the one driving. I don't understand how she's not more upset with Curtis. But then Brick, aka Stephen A. Smith's character, ended up coming over, and they had a nice little conversation. Even though Stephen A. Smith annoys me a lot in real life, his character is not as annoying as Curtis is on this show. So I thought they had a good conversation where it seemed like Jordan was way more comfortable with Brick, and Brick was making her laugh, and Brick was making her smile. Which, them showing this makes me think that we're not supposed to support Jordan and Curtis together. I don't support them together, especially after this accident. But Stephen A. Smith is never going to be on enough to, I guess, be a real viable lover for Jordan. But let's move on to some of the more intense stuff. Now, the last time I got to review, I talked about Joss going to see Brennan. This was at the end of Wednesday's episode, Well, on Thursday's episode, we got more of that after Joss told Brennan that he's already lost Carly. Brennan thinks that Joss is lying, that Carly is with another man. Brennan thinks that Josh was just lashing out because he demoted her to sleeper status in the WSB. Joss said that she is telling him the truth, he just doesn't want to hear it. Brennan wanted proof, which Josh doesn't have proof. She never has proof as a WSB agent. She's been going everywhere doing all of these green, stupid things, like I guess the rookie that she is, but I think it's just more of a point of why Joss should not be WSB, because she's very sloppy at what she's been doing. And this decision to go tell Brennan all of this about her mom was very rash. It was a very rash decision. But she told Brennan that Carly doesn't tell her who she is sleeping with, but that if Brennan thinks about it, he will know that she is right. Well, that news, when Joss left, caused Brennan to drink, and it caused him to go see Sonny. Meanwhile, Joss went to go get advice on Nathan, wants Nathan to be her regular workout partner. She's really just trying to dive deeper into Nathan because she finds the whole situation about his return from the dead odd, which at least someone on this show does. Nina just thought that Joss had a crush on Nathan, but that was not the case. We'll get back to Nathan in a second. Actually, we might as well talk about that first before we get back to Sonny and Brennan, because Britt and Nathan had a talk, or not so Nathan, Cassius, whatever we're calling him. I guess his name is Cassius. I guess I should call him that, but like the whole story is that he's not so Nathan. But Britt ended up opening her mouth, just like Joss has been going around opening her mouth too much. Britt opened hers, warning Nathan, or not so Nathan, that Joss was asking questions because Joss is WSB. So, of course, Cassius freaks out by that, and he doesn't know if he can keep this a secret about Joss. And Britt even told him that Brennan is the only one keeping Cullum from knowing that Joss is WSB. So this made Cassius remember all of the questioning that Joss was doing with him. Here's where I find our heroes in this storyline idiotic again, and I'm going to keep dwelling on this, because they're opening their big mouths about each other's secrets, but they don't have the bright ideas to just go ahead and tell Sidwell that Cullum's the one that killed Marco, when it would weaken their adversaries even more. So they have all these loose lips, except for the information that they should be leaking. And it's really stupid, and they shouldn't be listening to Lucas about this, who wants to not tell Sidwell. It doesn't make sense to me. It will never make sense to me. It's just plot driven. But anyway, Cassius went to go see Joss, and they ended up talking about working out together, and Joss got Nathan a gift to make it up to him because she kept bringing up his father in the past. But then one of our first cliffhangers to Friday's episode was Nathan grabbing Joss's arm and not letting her leave. So we'll see what comes of that now that Not So Nathan knows that Joss is WSB. Will he do something to her, or try to do something to her? You know, we had those scenes months ago when Joss was able to fight off Valentin and kind of beat his ass, which was so unrealistic. Will this be equally as unrealistic? I hope not, because that will take me out of the drama with this storyline. But like I said, Brennan went to go see Sonny and was clearly acting jealous. Sonny could tell that he was acting jealous. Sonny giving Brennan a lot of crap that maybe Carly wised up and figured out that Brennan is bad news. Brennan asks Sonny if he pressured Carly to leave him. Sonny said that Brennan and Carly's problems have nothing to do with him. And then Sonny had questions for Brennan about Cullum, saying that if Jason shot him, there has to be a reason, and was trying to see if Brennan knows why. But he did get information out of Brennan about where the WSB is keeping Jason currently, and he did go to Britt to tell her that information too. Britt very thankful that Sonny is keeping her in the loop. Sonny is saying that since Jason is one of his best friends, or is his best friend, he will protect Britt because he knows Jason cares about Britt. Meanwhile, Carly and Valentin were planning on dinner again. She wanted Valentin to cook. He likes cooking for her, or so she thought anyway. Lucas ended up coming over, though, because he wanted to warn Carly about telling Joss that Carly was having an affair with somebody else. Carly, of course, was very upset about that. Carly upset with herself for telling Lucas about her other lover in the first place. Lucas just doesn't want Carly to be in danger with this affair and putting herself in danger, because Lucas thinks that Carly is falling for this mystery guy. And Carly is saying that she will make sure that Brennan doesn't find out. Of course, Carly doesn't know that her own daughter just opened her big stupid mouth about all of it. And then in Friday's episode, Carly brought home the food so Valentin could cook. And they got to bickering because Carly is still annoyed that he put himself in danger over Anna, his ex, with that phone call that the WSB could trace. And she's saying that she's not jealous about him caring about his ex. But we are seeing the jealousy between Carly and Valentin here. They get into another big fight with Valentin going up to his attic and slamming the door, and Carly breaking things in the kitchen. But then she walks upstairs and he opens the door at the same time she gets there. And of course they have their moment of staring at each other, and then their passion comes through and they end up making love. I mean, I will say I've enjoyed what they've done with Carly and Valentin. I think they've done a good job of making this a couple that has all that tension that I do want to root for to be together. But of course, our drama comes from the fact that as they're making love, Brennan enters Carly's house upset, wanting to catch her being a cheater. Sees that there's 2 glasses of wine, so of course is upset. Goes up to Carly's room, busts in. However, at that point, Carly is alone in bed because I guess Valentin already finished. But he does see clothes everywhere, and Jack asks where he is, and that is our cliffhanger. And I think a good start for the rest of May. I think we could have a good dramatic May here. At least I'm hoping so. This was definitely a good start to that. Even though overall I can't say that Thursdays and Fridays episodes were strong all the way around. There's too much fluff for me. There's plenty of boring couples on this show. But the main storylines definitely brought it to end the week.